Hi there, my name's Chris Nichols, and this is my trail wish list for Garrett County, Maryland. It's March 2023, and local trails have been in our news lately, so I thought I'd kind of do a little wish list of what I'd like to see coming up in the area. I'm doing this in the non-presentation mode because I'm going to switch back and forth between the slides and uh, web browser, so I didn't want to have to do that and minimize the slides every time. But a little bit about me, I'm a Garrett County local, born in Garrett County and love to do outdoor stuff, but I do have some niches of things I like. I like more of the rail trail biking, not as much into mountain biking or road biking. I'll do it, but it's not my thing as much. But I like more of the foot traffic trail use of trail running, hiking, backpacking. For looking at this little presentation, I'm not looking at potential new water trails or off-road vehicle trails. I'm just kind of looking at things that would be fun for biking or backpacking, those type of trail usages. I'm assuming that the proposed Friendsville to Sang Run trail is a no-go, and kind of none of that corridor of what's the Weohachenie Wild River area that's from Friendsville south to Miller Run will ever get any sort of more developed trails. So that's kind of a no-go area for new trails is what I'm assuming. And that's kind of what brought this little presentation on, is that the current kind of request by the commissioners and a lot of local organizations is the money that was slated for that trail be used on other local trail projects. So I kind of started thinking about what would be cool projects if that money does go through to somewhere else. And just for the record, just so you know where I'm coming from, some of the potential conflicts of interest, I do produce maps of the county. One of them in particular is about outdoor recreation and trails and all that kind of stuff. So there are new trails. Maybe I'll sell some more maps. I'm also a local real estate agent, so maybe more people will buy houses in the area and I'll get fabulously wealthy from that. And one of the trails I'm pitching is, it would connect up the park that my Lions Club operates on behalf of the county to the rest of the lake area. So, maybe we'll get some more money from that. But, just so everyone knows where I'm coming from, where I, my perspective is. But for the most part, these are things that I think would either be good for the county or I personally would enjoy a lot. And they're all my personal preferences and speculation about things that may happen. So any other organizations that I'm involved with is not the organization's opinion. It's my personal opinion and my little business of Narrows Hill LLC's official position. But just a summary of the ones that I think would be cool to see is a connection from the new Garrett College Trail to the McHenry Community Park. And that provides some potential connections then to go up to Fork Run from, kind of create a path all the way up there. And for all of these, we'll look in detail. It's at some detailed maps looking exactly what I'm proposing. Next one would be the Meadow Mountain Trail, connect both to the Great Allegheny Passage Trail and Deep Creek Lake State Park. As far as backpacking goes, I'd love to see a connection from Monroe Run to Poplar Lick Run that would allow you to create a backpacking loop. Right now you can walk along Savage River Road, but a trail in the woods would be cooler and more of an experience. I think something connecting Oakland to Harrington Manor State Park would be a cool connection and provide some real value. And then really long term, I think we as a county need to make sure we are staying plugged into the regional trail networks. I did mention the Great Allegheny Passage, but there's some other trails in the area that I think really would be valuable for us to stay connected in. So the first one is a connection from the McHenry Community Park that's operated by my Deep Creek Lake Lions Club and provide a connection of that essentially down to this pink trail, which is the new trail at the college. It's technically the Mosser Heritage Trail, but it connects connects 219 to the college on a nice paved trail. And this would involve some easements from private landowners, but I think what would be cool about this then is that you could then access the amenities at our park, which include disc golf, pump track that's going in, some other new stuff that we're doing. We've got a lot of trails, existing trails there. You'd be able to access that now from kind of the commercial center of the lake. And then thinking even further down the road, there's a stretch of 219 along here that's owned by the State Highway Administration that we could put a trail in there, a little crossing zone here to the visitor center, which is right there. It's where it says the Green Turtle, and there's another existing trail already there that would allow you to access the Wisp. And then from the Wisp, we're thinking mostly in the summer here, you could ride up the chairlifts, or even if you're pretty hardcore, go up like Possum or Wisp Trail up this way to get up to the top, and then you'd be able to access Fork Run Recreation Area, also owned by the county, with all of the existing trails here. This purple trail is currently being developed by Garrett Trails. So conceivably, you could have a connection all the way up to, from the McHenry Community Park all the way to Fork Run. And with the prevalence of e-bikes, that makes this a lot more of a reasonable proposition to go back and forth and kind of experience this whole route. Maybe down to Swallow Falls to the south here, but like I was talking about earlier, this stretch of the Yaak is that wild river designation, so it seems very unlikely that any trails would be going in there, but it's really not that far along the road even to get to there. And just a quick note on the maps that I'm using, a little self-promotion, sorry, just have to live with it. This is the online version of my Ultimate Garrett County Adventure Map. It's kind of cluttered up here because I've got all kinds of points of interest on here. We've got the trailheads, we've got kind of special interest points, national and Maryland historic sites, all kinds of really great interesting things. But you can click that off and just get a map showing just the trails in the county and zoom in and out and look at where things are in relationship to each other. So that's what I've been using to kind of show some of these trail connections I think would be interesting or fun. So that's the McHenry Community Park to potentially Fork Run. The next one that I think would be awesome for me would be a connection of the Meadow Mountain Trail first to Deep Creek Lake State Park, but then potentially up to the Great Allegheny Passage Trail. We'll look at a map that shows kind of the regional scale of that in a bit. But Meadow Mountain Trail is pre-existing, largely bikeable by, kind of rail trail type bikes. It's, it's kind of a moderate intensity trail there. That was then connected to the state park. That just involves a couple of property owners, one of which is the state of Maryland. I think this is already in the works right now. Hopefully that shouldn't be too big of a deal. But then getting up to Pennsylvania would be more of an issue. This trail kind of ends right here at the gas station that's right along 68, right at that exit for the 219 going north. There's a little gas station there, a little road that goes off. So it ends right there, but conceivably this could all follow state land and then go back under 68. And really there is a route that has a number of, there's one large landowner that's a timber company that owns several very large contiguous parcels, both in Maryland and Pennsylvania. So it may not be totally unreasonable to go this route. And then once, if we can connect to the gap and get all the way down and provide kind of a bikeable path, the gap gets about 1 million visitors per year, 1 million users per year. So, providing, like, pulling some of them off, or, kind of providing a route for them to visit the lake. They could come down and camp at the state park, swim, and do all the lake stuff, and then get back on and bike to wherever they're going. Also, you could, this would provide a destination, a starting point. You could start from the lake and go get on the gap. Personally, that'd be awesome for me. I live right here, so I could almost just get out my front door, get on a bike, and then go to Pennsylvania, or to Pittsburgh or DC, which would be pretty cool. So personally, I think that would be I'd love something like that. But I think that would be a great boon for the county and the area as well. Switching gears a little bit, looking at backpacking, and something I think would be valuable would be connect up the southern ends of Monroe Run Trail and Poplar Lick Run Trail. And that, right now, you can walk this. This is Savage River Road. That's kind of lame. And if there was a trail, a primitive backpacking type trail that could follow state land, it's pretty rugged in here, but that's part of the experience. Then you could largely do a backpacking loop that's all trail based. You kind of have some roads here and some roads here, but that would really, I think, create a really awesome backpacking loop. There's a bunch of campsites along Poplar Lick Trail, and great for that. There's New Germany State Park. So, I mean, this would, I think, create a really cool base to have a nice backpacking loop in the county. And I think backpacking is pretty underrepresented in Garrett County, given the amount of public land and trails we have. There's really not a lot of good backpacking. The biggest backpacking trail is Big Savage Trail right along here, but it's a circuit. You've got to drop a car at the top and drop a car at the bottom, and shuttle back and forth. So a loop, I think, would add a lot to kind of our outdoor repertoire. And then another trail I think would be cool and good for the area. I don't know that I maybe would use this personally a lot, but would be something to connect Harrington Manor to Oakland. So in Oakland downtown, we've got the museums and shops and restaurants, and then some very nice paved trails that would take you from there, and those end there at the Yock. And then the state does own all of this corridor along the Yock, so I don't believe there's any trail or anything there. It'll be, and this is again pretty rugged area, but it's doable. So something following the Yock there would have to stop there. This is Miller Run, which is where the Wild River designation starts. So suddenly it's now magically wild here and not there. But it's you got to start somewhere, right? So the trail would have to end there. Looks like the state owns a lot of this land too. So I mean, there would be some private landowners to deal with here, but then you could get to Harrington Manor, so people could be camping, staying there, then get to Oakland, do the fun, cool things in Oakland, and then conceivably we could find a good route through Oakland, Mountain Lake Park to get to all of the great new trails at Broadford Park too. That would be a pretty cool route to create there. And then just thinking really big scale, long term, are all of these regional rail trail networks that are either already existing or in the works. So I was talking about the Great Allegheny Passage earlier, down in D.C. to Pittsburgh up here, and the connection I was proposing kind of goes, right up this way to get to the Gap. One idea that's been floated in the past is coming down from Confluence to Friendsville, but since it's clear that the trail will never go further than Kendall, which is where it ends right there at the end of that red line, it seems kind of pointless to build a trail to Friendsville that you know will never get any further than that. So I think a more valuable path will be something that gets you to the lake and then potentially beyond, and that probably would follow this route, right? This corridor right here. I think there's been some look at following the Castleman River. So from Grantsville, you kind of follow up through Springs here and follow the Castleman. There's a lot of private landowners on that route, and there's a lot of land acquisition or easement acquisition issues that you'd have to deal with there. One interesting development that may be an indirect connection is that in the next slide we'll see a trail that's being proposed that would go from Elkins to Thomas Davis, and then follow along a West Virginia route to get to the Great Allegheny Passage Trail at Cumberland. So that would largely bypass Garrett County, Maryland, and follow along and go along West Virginia route to get there. There's also been some looks at going from Morgantown and their Mon River Trail and Decker's Creek Trail to go north and follow the Mon River, the Monongahela River, up and meeting up, in Pennsylvania here. So it's going to be important. We're going to get kind of largely left behind on all this rail trail access if we don't make a big push to try and get some access ourselves. And you can see the West Virginia Mountain Railroad National Historic Trail that Friends of Blackwater received a grant for last year to kind of explore getting from Thomas to Cumberland, and it would kind of go by Kitzmiller, but again, you get to Kitzmiller, it's tough to get anywhere else in Garrett County via bike from Kitzmiller. You've got to get up and over Backbone Mountain to get to anywhere else in Garrett County. So while I think this would be great for Kitzmiller, and we should definitely try and promote getting that connection, it's not going to really do much good for the rest of the county if this is the only route to get to the gap that goes near us. But having said that, I think we've got a lot of great trails already in the county. We've got a lot of great opportunities to go out and have fun and enjoy yourself outside. And again, just a little self-promotion of my stuff. I've got what I think is a really great, I think it's the ultimate Garrett County adventure map, and you can buy those on my website at narrowshill.com. I've got a variety of maps available, wall maps, fold-up maps, so you can do all your shopping there for all your mapping needs of Garrett County. If you want to learn some local lore, history, info, you can visit my personal website. That is dimesy.com. And there's information on trails in the county, link to my video trail tours where I've working on visiting all the trail areas in the county and doing a narrated tour just to give you an idea of what each of those trails are like. And if you want to get engaged and get involved with a local community organization that promotes and helps to build some of these trails, I'd recommend checking out Garrett Trails. You can see them at garretttrails.org and get involved with them. They do a lot of great work. And I'd love to chat further. If you've got questions or comments, or I'm way off base or whatever, give me a call or shoot me an email. I'd love to talk more and maybe meet up and do some trail tours or hang out or whatever. So, but regardless, get out and enjoy what we've got and get engaged and help build new stuff as well.